What's up, guys? It's lower one of two, and today I'm going to do leg press, and then I'm going to go upstairs and do my hyperextension, and then I'm going to come back down here and do dumbbell calf raises. And I haven't trained quads in probably 2 weeks time. Last week I was on a family vacation to San Diego. We went down to the zoo. We did SeaWorld, we did Mission Beach. It was a lot of fun in a short period of time. Got a lot of activity in as far as steps. In the training, I got a little bit of training in at the hotel gym, mainly upper body. I did some dumbbell RDLs for hamstrings, a little bit of glutes and lower back. I did some calves as well, but I didn't get in any quad training. Like I didn't want to do split squats. And I kind of figured I would hit up like a regular gym in the area later in the week. It never happened just because we were so busy. So again, I haven't trained quads in a good 2 weeks. So today on the leg press, definitely going to go a little on the easier side. I'm thinking, 3 sets, 8 to 10 reps, maybe leave a good 3 to 4 reps in the tank. Not push the issue too much because I don't want to get excessively sore, because I do have another leg session later in the week. And I don't want that soreness to basically interrupt that second session. So I'll just use this session today just to kind of acclimate back in, and then I'll get after it a little bit more with that second leg day. But the leg press here, I like to acclimate up into my main sets. So I have 100-pound plates on there right now. So again, we're going to go really slow on the way down. Yeah, definitely feel a little on the tighter side, especially 2 weeks not doing this exercise. And I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to allow the weight to kind of help open me up a little bit. And then I'll push it up. And then again, we're going to go slow on the way down, kind of ease into it, get that stretch there. And that second one felt a little easier, getting to the bottom. I think I'll do one more. So again, just easing into it, getting a stretch there. And then right now I'm kind of opening my knees up a little bit, helping to stretch that groin out a little more. Because again, I do get a little on the tight side. And now things feel a lot easier. And I can go ahead and just bang out some warm-up reps here. Okay. So I'll catch a little breather, but we'll add another plate here. Again, we're going to bump the load up and we'll bring the reps down a little bit. Again, not to generate too much fatigue. Let's get in there and do my third warm-up set. So on this one, I just make sure I'm holding these handles really firmly to keep my lower back firmly cemented into the padding. Like the last thing you want is for your lower back to roll up on you, because that's going to be an issue. So I just make sure that I hold on to these handles, keep myself tucked in. But again, nice and slow on the way down. I prefer about 4 seconds on the eccentric, even with the heavier loading, just to maintain, lots of control. And because of the slower eccentric, it doesn't take much as far as the loading to get a good stimulus. And it helps to protect the connective tissue. It's not as burdensome on my knees, my hips, lower back. So just got to let the ego go and try to train with a lot of humility. Another plate here. And this is going to make it, let's see, that's 290 on there now. So that's going to be 380. Maybe get about 6 reps here. Again, just to acclimate to the heavier load, not generate too much fatigue. But yeah, as far as my contest prep, I know I haven't really been talking about that too much here on YouTube. But, I've been prepping since December, January. And progress has been on the slower side. A lot of that has to do with, just to be honest with you guys, haven't been fully committed. I would say like 80-90% of the time. So the progress is slow because of that. But after coming back from vacation last week, I told my wife on Sunday night, like, I got to buckle down. Like, I got to be on it 100% because I got asked to guest pose in September up in Washington for Katie Wayman White, who is the promoter of the WNBF Washington State Olympic. So I'm buckling down now. Like, I'm fully committed, to getting after it. And if this is in fact going to be my last prep, my last season, I definitely want to make sure that I'm bringing my full potential, not to just her stage, but to all the shows that I have in mind. And of course, getting on stage at Worlds in November, that's the end goal. And that would be, in a sense, like my last show that I'll ever do. I'm pretty confident that I'm probably going to retire after this season. I'm 99% sure. I'm going to leave that 1% just in case, a few years from now, I get a little itch again. But, I've had a long career and it's been really fulfilling. I've accomplished a lot. And now I just want to put a lot of my energy, more so into my family, into the athletes that I coach. Like, I find a lot more joy watching them go through the process than myself, these days. Main set, another 45 on there. That's going to give us 470 pounds, I think it is. Let's see, 290, 380. 380 and 90 is 470. That's the weight that I was using prior to vacation. Maybe get 8 reps. Again, I want to try to leave 3 to 4 in the tank. I don't want to go too crazy here because I know tomorrow I'm going to feel it, probably going to get a little sore. So yeah, we'll try to keep it conservative. I feel confident. That last acclimation set felt a little on the lighter side. So I have a feeling I'm going to be able to, do this pretty successfully. So we'll go ahead and find out here. Now, personally, I'm not one of those guys that has to amp myself up because I'm confident in my ability and I want to keep the energy where I want it, and that is with the actual set. I don't want to waste energy getting all riled up, and even during this set, I'm not going to externalize too much. So just keeping everything really within, so I have full focus, full control, full power right where I want it. I feel pretty good. I don't think I could have went heavier. I could have, but the reps would have came down. And I don't think it's worth it. Not yet. I probably need a good 2 to 3 sessions with this loading to gain that confidence to be able to increase the load, maintain the same rep range, same reps in reserve, and same form and technique. I want to master the load. I want to make sure that I have plenty of skill. I don't want to let the ego basically lead me too far out in front. Number 2. First set felt good. I feel confident I can get 8 reps again, and with enough reps in the tank where I don't put too much risk on myself. Now, as far as the setup, as far as where I put my feet, personally, around shoulder width, toes are pointed out, and the reason I do that is so my knees can track outwards. That allows me to get depth. Execute where you're going to be the most comfortable, the most safe, and that's going to allow you to put as much effort as possible. Yep. Third and final set here, and I've rested probably a good 5 or 6 minutes. On bigger lifts like this, I tend to take anywhere between 4 to 7 minutes on average. And that rest goes a long ways, because you've already noticed, like from set 1 to set 2, I was able to duplicate the same number of reps with the same load. And chances are I'm going to do the same thing on this third one. And, by resting, not only are you ensuring, really good performance, but you're also maintaining good composure. So for me, it's more about, just being under total control throughout the entirety of a workout. So again, heading into my sets, it's not about amping myself up and trying to rush through my training. Like, I want to basically, just be really cool, calm, and collected. So here we go. Last set, try to get those 8 reps. Yep. One more. Yep. There we go. Solid. First time doing this movement in a very long time, so I don't want to get overly sore. I'm not loading it. Eventually I'm going to end up loading this because body weight's not going to be enough. And in the past, I've been as high as 160, 180 pounds doing this, like holding like 80 to 90 pound dumbbells in each hand. I don't think I'll ever get to that again, but that's how strong I was in the past on this. And I've always had kind of a stronger posterior chain. It's one of my stronger areas of my physique. That's from heavy RDLs, deadlifts, those lifts that I used to do continuously or consistently in the past. But now I have to be very careful because of the lower back issues. So, hip thrust machine, that's more of my go-to. And then now this one, I just got to be, on the careful side. So, but yeah, I'm feeling it. Probably get a couple more here. Nice and controlled. Like, I can probably squeeze out a couple more, but I know I'm going to get pretty sore, just because of the slower eccentrics. I can feel it on my hamstrings, stretching those hammies out. I'm going to get sore from it. So again, I don't want to do too much here. But yeah, we'll rest a couple minutes. We'll finish off the third set, and then we'll go back downstairs and do a couple sets of dumbbell calf raise, and that'll be it. So one key point about setting this movement up, so when it comes to the padding here, I always set it right below my family jewels. Like, I don't want to have it riding up on my hips. And the reason for that is it doesn't allow me to use my glutes as much. So having the padding set lower, I just have more room for my hips, and it allows me to, round over that much more. So I just find, like, when the padding is too high, it ends up turning the movement more into a lower back dominant exercise. You're going to notice, as I come over and round down, that I just have more room, for my glutes to operate. So right now, when I come back up, I'm thinking, slightly squeezing my quads a little bit just to create stability. But then I'm really thinking about my glutes, like thrusting my hips into the padding. And that's what's moving my torso, more so than, again, leading with the torso. This is all lower back. So it's hips in the pad, squeeze the glutes, stabilize the quads a little bit, round over on the way down, fire back up. And again, that's how I turn it into a a glute and hamstring dominant exercise. All right, that's good. All right, take a rest, head downstairs. All right, hopefully you guys are enjoying this style of video. Do me a favor, if you are, just comment below that you're actually enjoying it. If not, you guys can say so as well, because I want to make sure this is an environment that we can all, in a sense, talk to one another openly and respectfully. That's what's super important to me, is that we're keeping this very respectful, because think about it, this is just bodybuilding. It's nothing that's all too serious. For most of us, this is just a hobby. And the last thing that we want to do is, to try to tear each other down. So if we could just keep the comment section very respectful, a place where we can all learn from one another, that's only going to make ourselves better, but it's going to help the entire community out as well. And that's been the goal with the Eating Muscle Journey the entire way through since we started coaching 15 years ago, is just to create a community where people feel like they can come and participate, learn, hang out with other people, and just, have a good vibe. And that's why the style of my videos is the way it is, just to keep it real, keep it really honest, and just show that, we're all human, whether we do things really well or we do things poorly or in between, we're all kind of the same. So it's important that, again, we keep this, very real, very honest, very genuine, very open place that we can all learn and share. So on these calf raises, I like to use my squat shoes, and the reason for that is the sole is really firm. And it has good grip too with these particular shoes, so I don't slide off the platform. But what I notice, if I'm using shoes that have a softer sole, in a sense like spongy, I just don't have as much stability. So I like to have a good shoe when I'm doing calf raises. I did develop really good calves by lifting progressively heavier over the years. I kind of treated calves as far as progressions just like I did, a squat, for an example. I would use linear progression, and it worked really, really well, again, up until a point. And when I tore my calf, I learned a lot from that. I learned to, in a sense, humble myself. I changed my approach, with the training. And I think it's the main reason why I'm still enjoying, a pretty decent physique, at the age of 53. So yeah, sometimes you learn the hard way, which I did. But now again, with calves, I just do enough to maintain what I got. And today, that's going to be 2 sets, 8 to 10 reps. I'm probably going to go to failure though, because I'm accustomed to training calves consistently. And I did get calves in last week, even though I was on vacation. So I'm not detrained or anything when it comes to calves. So I'm going to go ahead and push myself here. Use my offhand to support myself. I get my foot centered in a sense, and then I let the dumbbell drift to the outside of my quad, and I try to keep myself centered, like my body. I try not to lean too much into it. I want to keep myself nice and safe, keep that spine straight. But I'm going up with control, all the way up, controlled on the way down. I'm not going to sit in the stretch position for too long, and the reason I don't like to go too much in this stretch position, at least for a long period of time on this exercise, is because of that calf tear. It feels very unpleasant when I'm fully stretched out on this. So I just basically just use kind of a normal rep cadence, not really emphasizing, too much stretch, and I just take it until I can't do any more reps. And what I've noticed over the years, by not getting in fully stretched position on this movement, my calves are still pretty jacked. So I think as long as we're putting that effort in, regardless, you're going to see development. Again, as far as worrying about what your rate of progress is, 1%, 5%, 10%, I think eventually, over time, you're going to end up getting to probably the same place anyways. So for me, again, it comes down to being comfortable and being safe. Again, that's where I'm going to be able to put the most effort in. But I appreciate you guys, sticking with me through this entire video. If you made it this far, hopefully you guys are enjoying it. I'm definitely going to continue to mic up and, keep filming my training for you guys. I'll get some upper body sessions in there as well. I'm sure I'll touch more on my contest prep, so that way you guys can follow along with it. I'll just touch on all things bodybuilding. And what's going to really help me to help you guys that much more is to engage with me in the comments section. I'll see you guys probably next week.